Before you started the second program, can you tell me a little bit more about your relationship with food?
Yes, before I started the first time I did the 12 fixes, I think I had a really bad relationship with food. In general, I really kind of had a bad habits of eating whatever I wanted sometimes. I didn't know a lot about like food groups. Like you hear about proteins and carbs and fiber, but I didn't know a lot about the science of it, and I think the information that I had was very outdated. So I felt like I learned a lot during the first class, and this second time or this second session that I've had with the 12 fixes solidified a lot of things that maybe I had missed during the first time I took it. So my relationship with food has significantly improved because now I see it as something like very essential in the building blocks of like pretty much my future and my current life and my current state. And I didn't used to think that way. I used to just think of food as something you put in and like fuel and calories in, calories out. I wasn't thinking about the quality of things. I wasn't thinking about how even the order that I ate things could impact the way I metabolized. And I think I have a lot of chronic conditions I developed kind of in my earlier adulthood because I just didn't have that information, and I probably would have benefited this when I was in my 20s, but I'm happy that I'm in the right track now and I have a better relationship and understanding about food.
In what other ways has this program improved your overall well being and those around you? Was there something that kind of went far beyond just nutrition that you're still working through and utilizing to this day, or maybe your family members?
Sure. I guess I had very significant improvements in my labs, especially since I started taking the program. I've done it twice already. And in a year span, like I shared some of the significant changes I've had with improving my cholesterol levels, decreasing. I was like almost pre-diabetic at one point, and now it's in the normal range. I don't have like a high fasting glucose anymore. And there, like, I used to have issues with like my hepatic enzymes used to be very high because I was eating a lot of food that were high in fats. And it's because I just didn't know, or I thought like, oh, I could eat this and it's just one meal a day, and I thought that was fine. But I have seen just not only changes in my eating habits and my day-to-day mood and how the energies that I have or the energy that I have during the day, but I've also seen significant lab changes and significant changes overall in not just my physical health, but my mental well-being. And a lot of the things and tools I have gathered from the class, I have tried to also share it with my loved ones around. So I remember one of the significant lessons that I learned was the 30 grams of protein in the morning. And I've always had a lot of difficulties with feeling satiated and like filled up. Like I never, I think it's very rare where I feel like, oh, I'm full until I'm very stuffed. And learning about the importance of prioritizing protein and then telling that to family members that like share the similar genetic makeup as me, like they also saw the huge difference of like prioritizing protein and not eating carbs first when they're having a meal and trying to combine fiber and fat and like protein when they're eating like a carb. Those are some of the teachings that I have definitely shared with others that I've seen in my family, and they're still doing it to this day. And I'm trying to encourage them to also take the class because I definitely feel like it made a very positive impact in my day to day.
Nice. And then, would you recommend this program to a friend or family member? If so, why?
I definitely would. I think I'm a big advocate on social media, especially for small business. So I'm always posting about this program because I wouldn't recommend something I haven't tried, and the fact that I've done it twice like really speaks volumes to the quality of the program. And I've even had conversations with one of my specialists, my endocrinologist, when we were discussing my progress, and I told her about the 12 fixes And one thing she was really surprised because I told her I'm working with a dietitian from my home state in Texas. And I remember she said something along the lines, "Oh, what kind of program it is?" And I told her it's 12 weeks. I'm learning about, munching mindfully. And I told her about the learning how to move, and some lessons that I learned about like being aware of like, your surroundings and what you put in your surroundings, how that impacts the way you eat and the habits that you form. And she kind of paused and said, "Wow, that sounds like a very holistic program. Like it's not just like a regular dietitian or nutritionist program. Like it sounds like it's very well rounded because it includes things related to like sleeping habits, eating habits, having enough water in your system, making sure you're also checking in emotionally, and kind of leading of an overall better and healthier lifestyle, which I think a lot of people sometimes, because of the ins and outs of their day and their work, they definitely put that in the back burner. And I know, like, for me, especially, I'm very career focused, and I feel like the least thing I'm thinking about is how to take care of myself sometimes. So, this was like a really good investment for me. I felt like it was something that, has, I don't know, repaid me back 3 times because I feel better. I'm doing better at work. I feel more focused, and overall, I think like all the labs show that too. But I also noticed people have also told me like, hey, like you just look more awake, more energetic. You look great. So I definitely feel like this is an investment that I kind of still want to continue to take more sessions after the second round. So I really have enjoyed the program overall, and I would recommend it to anyone, especially people who have not been like prioritizing themselves overall because they're busy with their work or their family. And I feel like this is a really great place to start and to start working towards a very like fruitful and very like self-care journey. I think that was something that also made me realize like, hey, I need to invest in myself. I need to do more things to help me become a better version for myself, and this was a great starting point.
Nice. That's great. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you would like to share at this time?
I've never done anything like this before, so I was very hesitant at first because I wasn't sure what to expect. I've never worked with a nutritionist or a dietitian, and I think when I was growing up, I thought that was like I would, not that it was a bad thing, but it was like, oh, someone's really sick and they need to see, a registered dietitian or something, because I didn't understand what it was. And it's not until I started working with one and I started learning all these new skills. I thought I knew a lot about things, and then I realized I don't know anything. But it was a really great experience because I also got to see a side of science that I have learned to kind of understand, but in a place that I can see it every day and do it every day. It's like every day is like a little experiment or a little study, and you're kind of testing all these different new ideas and skills and tools that you're learning, and you're putting it into practice. And I felt like a sense of like innovation and discovery, and it wasn't something that was scary or boring or like ambiguous, because like you gave like everyone and myself a parameter to explore, to try new foods, to try like new things that we probably would have not done if we were by ourselves. So that's something that I really was surprised when I was taking this class, is how much I learned and how much I got to also put into practice. And I plan to continue putting into practice those lessons and skills that I've gathered.
Nice. Thank you.